Truth or lie, you decide. Is that the truth, or are you taking us for a ride? Truth or lie, you decide. Did that really happen, or are you being snide? Do you have a tell? Or are you a really good liar? Are you honest as hell? Or are your pants on fire? Ladies and gentlemen, welcome, virtually and in isolation, but very much still deceptively, your host, Miss Amy Woke. Do I only have lies for you?
Oh, hi, here I am. I muted myself so I wouldn't have an echo, and then I screwed it all up. Jeez, that's what happens. Hi, everyone. Welcome to I Only Have Lies for You. Here we are. It's June something. Couldn't tell you. I don't know where or when we are anymore, but here I am still in Washington Heights. We're excited you're all back with us for, I think, our third at-home episode. And we have some really fun people playing tonight. And tonight we are raising money for the Southern Poverty Law Center. They do some really great work fighting racism and bigotry and all sorts of other things. You can go to their website and find out where all the Confederate statues are in the country. Thought if you ever need to know where the closest one to you is, in case you might want to tear it down. Hi, so that's what's happening. I'm going to bring in our fantastic guests one at a time. First of all, let me take him off of mute, is the president of the Manhattan Association of Cabarets and Clubs. He is one of my good friends, and he is a multiple award-winning cabaret artiste. It's Lenny Watts. Hi, Lenny.
Hello.
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 Nice to see you. Oh, next
Nice
up.
to be
Oh, nice to be seen. He's coming to you live from Hell's Kitchen. Next up, coming to you live from Colorado. He was on Broadway in The Lion King, but most recently was in the off-Broadway production of A Strange Loop, which was super awesome. It's Jason Veazey.
Hey.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi. And last but definitely not least, she has been in many Broadway shows and tours and was in Love Never Dies, On the Road, and played Norma Desmond in Sunset Boulevard. And
she's just old.
Oh, no, it's Karen Houston. Oh.
Yay.
You know.
Thank you.
So, welcome, guys. We're going to just...
Hey, Amy, can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
People are texting me asking how they can see this.
Yes.
Is it on the I Only Have Lies page or your page?
I Only Have Lies for You Facebook page, and it should be streaming right now. You can also watch
that's what I told
which I didn't know was a thing.
Wow.
My sister told me. So, hey to my sister in Georgia.
Great. All right.
Okay. So, and if they miss it, you can watch it later. So we're going to start off. I'm going to give Karen's going to get the first story. She's going to read it, and then you guys can decide whether or not she's a big fat liar. Ready?
Wow.
Here we go.
Okay. Liar.
Okay. Start.
Yeah.
Start now. I fell out of my tube top singing a song in a cabaret show.
Tube top. So that was recent.
Very.
Where was this show?
It was in a very small cabaret in the Midwest, in Indiana.
Oh. What were you singing?
Oh, I'm not even sure. Actually, I think it was a comedy song. I was up on a piano, and
Can't hear her.
Oh, you can't? This is pretty good too. I was up on a piano. No, we lost Jason again.
Oh no, maybe he'll be back in a second.
Okay, I was up on a piano, and should I wait for him or just continue on?
Well, you give it a second. Let's see.
Okay.
Let's see if he shows back up in a second.
Come on, Jason. Come on, Jason.
Truth or lie, truth or lie.
Oh, Lenny will probably sing us.
That's all I know.
That's fine. Oh, here he is again. Let's see if he's back.
Yay, okay.
Jason, let's see. Let's see.
I'm here.
Here you are.
Great.
There we go.
Well, we saved the story for you, Jason.
Thank
So
you.
you're welcome. I was up on a piano doing a comedy song. And after the song was over, I leapt off the piano, and my tube top just kind of like sunk. And quickly I got it up, but it sunk. It was not where it should be. And it was very sparkly. You would have liked it, Lenny. Very sparkly.
Oh, excellent. I love a sparkly tube top.
Lenny, I think sparkle tube top.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like one.
Yeah.
Any other
Questions?
I feel like, did you acknowledge the fact that it came down? Did the audience acknowledge, or was it like so fast that nobody really noticed except for you?
Well, no one said anything to me afterwards, but I did not acknowledge it. I was hoping to God that no one saw it.
Until now.
Until now. Yeah.
Can I ask what venue did this happen?
I don't even know if the venue still exists. It was a small cabaret in Indiana. What was the name of it? It's called The Brig.
The Brig. Okay.
Brig.
That's a
The Brig.
terrible name for it.
Yeah.
It's so odd that it's not still there.
I mean, the brig means the jail, doesn't it?
Yes, it does.
A jail on a
Come
pirate
on and share an evening with me.
The Brig Cabaret. That's redundant.
Well, I think it was a gay club, and then they, as a lot of places do, they try to increase their audience members, and so they start having cabaret shows. And sometimes they work, and sometimes they don't.
Our friend watching Kate Butticky wants to know what year this happened.
I was just about to say that.
That is
Oh,
freaking
see?
unfair. You
I
expect a woman in her 60s to remember? Come on. Sometime before the turn of the millennium.
In the era of sequin tube tops.
That's right.
when it was time, when a
Like,
sequin tube top.
That would have been like the 80s, maybe the 80s or the 90s, somewhere around there. It's all kind of murky. It's all kind of murky up until last week.
Had the sequin tube top presented a problem before, or was this the first time the tube top had acted up?
I had never worn the tube top until this evening.
Okay.
And it was a stretchy tube top. So, I hadn't tried it out and jumped off a piano at the same time. So,
Have you worn them since?
only for my husband.
Oh,
Wow.
there we go.
Can you recreate the move that made the tube
Well,
top
yes, I
shift?
can. Hold on one second. It was this. All right, there you go. Yeah.
Classic.
Looking as elegant as I just did, by the way.
Yeah. This
Yeah.
is a tough one.
All right, what do you guys think? Do you have a guess? Jason, Lenny? Where's my son?
I'm gonna guess that Karen is a liar.
Lenny?
I'm gonna guess. I'm gonna agree with Jason. I think it could have happened, but I don't think it did. So I'm
right.
gonna call her a liar.
Okay, the answer is
True.
Karen Mason.
I can't believe I haven't heard that story before. That's the whole thing.
Flashed a gay audience in a jail club in
In a jail club.
In a jail club in Indiana. Yeah.
Wow.
Right.
A young cabaret singer loses her tube top.
Still here.
Oh, I like that one. That's a classique. All right, Lenny wants
Uh-oh.
a story for you. There you go.
Okay. I have met Liza Minnelli many times. She thinks that my name is Freddie, and I do not correct her. You know why I don't correct her? Because my name could be Freddie. You know what I'm saying? It could be.
Now, is there a Freddie that she met you with at the same time that she thinks you're a Freddie?
Nope.
No. And when was the last time you saw Liza? Where was the first time you met Liza?
The first time I met her was at the Metropolitan Room
Ah,
during Billy Stritch's show. She came every night to that show.
wow.
And I have seen her, in and out of different clubs, Birdland and different things over the years. But I think she remembers me. Well, she remembers me from the Metropolitan Room. But I used to stand outside with her when she would smoke her cigarettes
Oh,
in front of the club. I know.
you bonded.
We did actually.
Freddie, like my cigarette, Freddie.
Yeah, Freddie.
Is Freddie a common name that people use when they mess up your name? Does that make sense?
No. Most people, if they mess up my name, they call me Larry for some reason.
Okay.
Or they misspell my name. They call me Lenny, but they spell it with a Y instead of an IE. But I don't know. Freddie, she's the only one.
Can I call you Larry? I'm going to call you Larry.
You can call me Larry.
So it was the first time was the Metropolitan Room, and you've seen her since. So that time she called you Freddie.
Mhm.
Did she ever get your name right?
No,
Wow.
not ever.
You'll always
Do you-
be Freddie to her.
I will always be Freddie to her. As
do
a
you
matter of fact,
care?
I said my name is Lenny, and she said, "Nice to meet you, Freddie." So what do? You can't. How can you?
Have you ever played for her or worked with her and allowed her to call you Freddie?
No, it's always been in a social situation.
Do you ever say, "Hi, my name is Lenny" again after the first time and she calls you Freddie? Or do you just say, "Hi, my name is Freddie" when you see her now?
Well, I don't say my name anymore because I think I think it's one of those things that she feels like she remembers somebody's name. So she says, Freddie. She feels proud of the fact that she remembers the wrong name. So I don't go up and introduce myself because that's embarrassing to
Right.
go up and introduce yourself 100 times.
And nobody corrects her?
Well,
Okay.
no, nobody's around that knows.
Oh,
You know what I mean?
If
It's
you were-
usually
if you
in
were- if you were-
situations.
If you were to create a panel, like a Mount Olympus of your favorite divas, would Liza be on it?
oh.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
She would be right next to Lorna. And then also beneath her would be Joey.
I think I've made my assessment.
Has Lorna ever met you? Have you ever met Lorna?
I have not met Lorna.
Oh,
Oh wait, you know what? That's a lie. That's a lie. I met her at the Mac Awards one year. I did meet her at the Mac Awards, yep.
and did she call you Freddie? God bless you.
Right.
No, bless you.
Thank you.
No, she did not. Could you imagine the whole family?
Yeah, that's right. Huh.
Lorinda Lisitza wants you all to know she waited on her at the Metropolitan Room, which does not matter one bit in this story, but there's
Was she a big tipper?
I don't
And,
know.
my friend Thomas wants to know, is it Freddie with an F because Freddie with a PH because Freddie with an F.
However, Billy Stritch was doing a Mel Torme show. That's what he opened the club with. I was the booking manager at the Metropolitan Room at that time, and he was doing Mel Torme, and she would yell things out of the audience like, Mama used to call him Mel Torment. and he has eyes like fried eggs.
Fried eggs.
Fried eggs, yeah.
All right, guys, you have enough information. What do you think about this story of Freddie and Liza?
Freddie.
I'm gonna say,
Go.
based off of his reverence for her, I believe that he would let her continue to misname him.
Yeah.
So I think this is true.
He's guessing true. Karen?
Yeah, I think it's true. I think it's true.
All right, here's the answer. It's
Oh man, you're good. That was very good.
I never know with this game if it's good that you can get away with it or if it just says
Well,
that you're shady.
I'll never trust you again.
It translates. It means you're an amazing storyteller and song interpreter.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I have met her, and she did say that he has fried egg, that his eyes are like fried egg.
that's what I think of. All right, Jason, here comes a story for you.
Okay. I was assaulted by a bat on stage. The bat won.
Oh,
Where was this?
where? Yeah.
It was in San Antonio.
Theater.
I believe it was called the Orpheum. One of the major touring houses, like one of the major touring houses there.
Indoors.
Is it an outdoor theater
Oh,
or
sorry,
indoor?
Lenny.
It's,
Oh, sorry.
No, it is not an outdoor theater, but very similar to the Majestic in Louisville, Kentucky. The ceiling and the walls have a night and star motif that changes with the lights, and then decors. Like there's like almost like an Alamo, and then there's people. There's weird mannequins on the side. There's a whole scene going throughout the whole entire top of the theater.
Wow.
Hmm.
So how big was the bat?
The one that attacked me, I believe it felt like it was the size of had the wingspan
Got
of
it.
6 feet, but I believe it was like, I guess, standard enough for me to walk off stage in the middle of the show. And
Why did it come after you?
we were told that there could be bats in the theater, and all I remember is seeing 2 women in the audience put their shawls over their head. And then I was in a line of people, and I remember feeling or hearing because we had these weird, we had these grass hats on. It was in The Lion King. And I just remember hearing people starting moaning, and I'm like, what? And then all of a sudden I feel a breeze, and then a tap, tap, tap. And I look up, and it's just sitting here, and then it goes into my face, and then I just say, nope, nope, and I walk off stage.
Could it have been a small actor who missed his cue for
It could have been one of those goddamn Cubs. Yes, it could have been. I realized that it was not. And I don't know if people know this, but Black people especially don't do bats. So
White people are not so good with them.
I don't think anybody's so good with the bat, really.
There was a bat in my New York City apartment once.
No.
It flew in and circled my living room, and I ran into my room and I shut the door and I called my roommate and I was like, "Oh my God, there's a bat in the apartment and I'm staying in the room. And if you come home and it chased me. It was horrible. I don't wish bats on anybody."
Mm-mm.
Yeah, no. And because bats respond to sound, the more noise you make, they come towards you.
So you
I
silence.
wasn't good at being.
So your screaming as you're leaving stage was,
leaving stage.
he followed you.
Interesting.
Yeah. Huh.
Did the show stop, or did they just continue after you ran off stage?
Actually, so I left off stage, and then a number of the ensemble followed me, and then the curtain and the curtain absolutely did come down, and we are stopped. And the stage manager said, "We're apologizing. We are stopping the show because of bats."
Because of bats.
Wow.
Wow.
Huh.
Well, my friend Tony says that's the Majestic in San Antonio. So,
Yeah, great.
Any more questions? You guys have an opinion?
I have an opinion. I have also seen bats in theaters, and I know that they hang out there. I'm going to say
They like musicals.
they do like musicals. Did Joe Bat have a little ascot on?
And jazz hands.
And a program for you to shut the sign? You know what? I'm gonna say it's true.
Karen?
I'm going to say he's lying.
Oh.
Ooh, a split panel.
Because,
My goddaughter, who's 9, thinks it's a lie, just so you all know.
Yeah. She's my
Is she the
barometer. Yeah.
All right, the answer is...
Uh-oh. Man, I am 2 for 2 being bad at this.
Wow.
Oh, yes. Leanna says Jellicle bats. I like that.
Jellicle bats. They really brought down the curtain on that.
They did, because the thing is, what I didn't realize is that I only experienced one bat, but there were 5 flying around.
Oh, man.
Wow.
Oh,
Wow.
no.
Yeah, that's not good.
Yeah, no.
Oh, I already wrote Karen's story, and then I got
Nope.
I got so involved. All right, here we go. Karen Mason, here comes your
All right, I'm up. I'm not doing so well here.
That's all right.
Okay. All right. These are also lovely. Yeah. nothing about, and then I stopped the show with a fantastic song. Yeah, no. I farted on stage while playing Mama Rose.
Who hasn't?
Mama's gotta let go.
You've been waiting to say that all day.
I just came up with it.
It was during Rose's turn, so yeah.
Bump it with the trumpet. There we go.
That's funny. You said it was during Rose's turn.
Uh-huh.
Was it audible?
Well, to me, the farter, I'm not, it was audible to me. It wasn't a totally quiet moment, so that was good. So, I'm hoping that my voice, because I'm loud, kind of drowned out any big sound.
It wasn't during the intro going into why did I do it? It was like
No.
while the vocal was happening.
No, it was a big honking note. Yeah. So it was the note, it was coming out of my mouth and farting at the same time. Very gifted.
Oh, I love that.
Very, very gifted.
Yeah, not everybody can do that.
Yeah, not everybody chooses to do it, Lenny. I'm kind of a trailblazer. Yeah.
You really
Derek, how many times have you played the role of Mama Rose?
1, 2, 3, maybe 3 or 4 times.
And at this point in time, was this the first time, or was it already in your body?
No. This was the last time that and that could be why it's the last time I played it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was embarrassing, but
did it throw you off? Did it affect your performance in any way, or did you just keep going? Or
no, internally I giggled. Unfortunately, it was at a dinner theater, so yeah, so people were a little closer, and I worried about that.
Huh. Well, they were probably doing it too at dinner theater.
They probably were.
They're
Yeah.
doing the already. They're at dessert.
That's right, the rubber chicken. Yeah.
And are you on stage by yourself during that point?
During Rose's turn, yeah.
So you're on there by yourself.
Yeah, I had just done, some. I'm trying to think of what. It was right before that, hit it, boys. It was a big note. Yeah, it was a big note. So there was a lot of movement at the time.
The trumpets, and the horns were going.
The trumpets and my butt were doing basically, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Huh.
I have never acknowledged this in public, so yeah.
I guess this tells you a little about me, but I just don't see what the big deal is.
Well, that does tell you quite a lot about you.
And I'm talking about on the cabaret stage. It don't tell Lana.
I don't think I've ever farted on stage in a cabaret stage. They're way too close.
Yeah. Huh.
I burped during a cabaret show.
I feel like that's worse, though, right? Because there's no way you can get around that.
Well, and you're also mic'd.
You're right.
Yeah.
Huh.
All right, guys, what do you think?
My gut is still telling me it's a lie.
Wow.
I'm with him on this one. I feel like the boob story, it could have happened, but I don't think
It did happen.
Yeah.
It did happen.
I don't think it did. I think it's a lie.
Wow.
They both think it's a lie. It is.
What?
Wow. You know Broadway Westchester?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. Have you ever worked there? The people are so freaking close, and they're having dinner at your feet. And I let out this. I obviously had something. It was a 2-show day, and I had something at dinner that did not agree with me. So it was I was so humiliated. But you just hope nobody heard it, and nobody complained or died. So I figured it was
more
fine.
worried somebody smelled it and somebody heard it.
Right. Well.
Wait, something's wrong with my chicken.
Yeah.
Smells funny.
She's so talented.
And listen, I know singers burp all the time and fart all the time, but it was just, to me, it was so funny that it was on a big note in Rose's turn.
I like it. It's very appropriate.
You can't fart then.
You gotta let
When
it out.
can you?
All right, Lenny, here comes your story.
Karen Mason, topless and gassy.
There we go. There's the show.
That's the next show.
Show title.
Topless and gassy.
Wow, I bet nobody would come to see that show.
Yeah. Oh, I would.
I would see that.
And Jason. Okay, we sold 2 tickets.
Okay. While on tour, in the middle of a song, I choked myself and fell down on stage.
God.
Wow, what were you touring with?
I was in The Wizard of Oz, and I
What were you
played
playing?
the lion.
Oh,
Wow.
wow.
I played the lion.
What city was this in?
I don't know the city, to be honest. I don't remember. This.
What was it during King of the Forest?
It was during King of the Forest,
Oh.
and they had made a. The cape was actually made out of a rug, and it was
Okay.
It had like a Persian rug on top, and then the bottom they had just covered with felt, and so it was very, very heavy.
Wow.
And it was always kind of choky, but it was really heavy.
So what caused you to choke? Was the pulling?
Well, No, I was standing on it and didn't realize I was standing on the thing, on the end of the thing, and so I went to go like this, and it didn't move, and I thought somebody else was standing. One of the other actors was being a jerk, and so I pulled it, but I was still on it, and then it choked me, and then I went down on the ground.
You didn't pass out.
That's funny. No, I didn't pass out.
Oh, okay. And did you
No.
get back up and finish the damn song?
Well, they
Right.
had to help me because when I fell down, the rug came on top of me and it was heavy,
Oh, wow.
and it was on a raked stage, going down. So I was already like, you know what I mean? Like I was on an angle this way.
Yeah.
Do you feel that this was an accident, or do you feel like this was attempted sabotage?
Well, I did it to myself, so it was probably
Okay.
sabotage, which also explains my career.
How old were you, Lenny?
I think I was like 30 when I did it. I think it was a long time ago. Sadly.
Yeah.
Did the audience respond with gasp, or did they think it was a bit?
No, they gasped a little bit at the beginning, and then they laughed because I was floundering around in a fursuit trying to get up, and then Dorothy ran over and was helping me up, and it was like, yeah. And I just brushed myself off and tried to figure out where I was in the song and finished it.
Did you get a massive amount of applause at the end of it for, coming back?
Not as much as I should have.
Well, I understand that.
Yeah, for that kind of a stunt.
Yeah. Yeah. If you're choking, yeah. Huh.
Any more questions about this one?
No.
How did you fall? I just have one more question. How did you fall?
Straight. Because I went back because I was standing on it, right? And I pulled the thing, and I went back, and then I lost and then I went down.
Oh.
And then my feet were still on the cape, because it was like that's why I couldn't get up. You know what I mean? It was like my feet were on one end, and this was around my neck this way.
I didn't know that the lion wore a cape. Does he?
That's where I was going.
During
I was
the
like,
King of the Forest, he picks up the rug, and they
Oh.
they do the
Right,
thing with
right,
the crown,
right,
and
right.
they break a flower pot and make the crown, and then happened to be a rug in front of the wizard's door, and that became the cape.
Oh, okay.
I'm confusing because I was gonna be like I thought it was against consistency, but I was confusing that with the lion's entrance, not King of the Forest, which happens later on in the
Oh
show.
no, this is King of the Forest. Yeah.
Yes.
Anyone have any other questions or an opinion?
No, I'm just saying I don't trust him now after that
You
first
have
one.
an opinion.
The point
I
of
feel
the
drawn.
show.
I feel drawn to Lenny, so I'm gonna repeat it, and I feel like he's telling the truth.
Okay, Jason says true. Karen says.
Yeah, now that you you lied to me the first time, Lenny, I'm having a lot of difficulty trusting you. But I would say this is, I like this story. So yes, it's, if nothing else, you've really made it. You fleshed it out.
I like
Yes.
So
All right, we've got 2 votes for true. The answer is
yay!
yay.
That is so funny.
Great.
Yeah, it is now.
Yeah, I know.
It is now. It makes sense. All right, I think we have time for one more. It's going to Jason. Here it comes. Oh.
Okay. During a dance number, my partner enthusiastically reached for me and punched me in the mouth so hard I split my lip wide open.
Wow.
Hmm.
What was the number?
During the dance call?
No, it was. This was a dance call?
Say what?
Was an audition, a dance call?
No. The dance number. The dance
Oh.
number.
Yeah. What was the music?
The Riviera from the boy. The Riviera from the boyfriend.
Oh.
Hmm.
Lenny, do you have a question?
Who was this dance partner?
Her name was Autumn Marie Hurlbert. We were in college.
Hmm. I know her. She's a bruiser. I believe that.
She's five. She's barely 5'3", but she's mighty and fierce.
Again, like the bat, did it make you run off the stage? Or did you run off stage, or what happened?
I didn't run off stage. Definitely couldn't run off stage. Definitely had maybe a little bit of rage.
Yeah, I bet.
But I didn't run off stage. I didn't have the option to run off stage.
Were you bleeding all over the place? Did you bleed on the costume?
Not all over the place. I feel like maybe being the queen that I was, it was probably like 2 droplets of blood, but it felt like I needed surgery.
And did you fill out an accident? Of course, this was college. They don't have accident reports.
They don't have accident reports, but I definitely went to stage management and I definitely went to the director and said, I got punched in the face.
And I want her out!
I want her out.
From college. Fire her from
program.
Fire her from college.
Don't cast her ever again.
That's right.
Did you ever work with her again? And how did you do the next night with her?
Then I just did it. She was extremely apologetic.
She gave you presents?
No, she didn't give me a damn thing. We were college students. She didn't give a fuck.
Yeah.
We did work together later on in college. We have never worked together since then professionally.
Wow.
Not that I don't want to though, because I love her.
Oh, well, that's nice.
Is she a professional now? Does she work for real?
She sure as hell is a professional.
Lenny, she was in the search for the next Elle Woods.
She sure as hell. She's
I didn't know that.
Still one of the
She's a
best
real
voices
person.
I've ever. She's a real person.
Wow.
I highly suggest you YouTubing her medley of "There Won't Be Trumpets" and "A Quiet Thing."
What is her name again?
Autumn Hurlbert.
Hurlbert. It's a great name.
Mm-hmm.
I will never forget it.
Hello, Autumn.
Did you punch Jason Beasley?
I heard you assaulted Jason Beasley.
I've heard rumor.
This is an old thing we'd like to talk to you about.
Absolutely.
Many years ago.
Jason. What college was it, by the way?
The University of Northern Colorado.
That solves it all. That wraps it up, Karen. That makes it.
That makes it. Now I know.
I saw that production.
They're all liars in Colorado.
Yeah. All that weed smoking and beer drinking.
That's right.
And the elevation.
Oh, wow.
See, these are hard because
Okay.
they could happen.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like it's so outlandish that it couldn't happen. I don't know that I have any more. No more questions.
No more questions. Do you have a
Well, I
vote?
want to know what costume you were wearing.
Oh.
It was so it was the Riviera, and it's doing so everyone's in different. It's like a masquerade costume ball. So she and I were dressed like a gangster and a flapper. That was our concept. But there were different couples, different themes.
Which one were you?
Which one?
Unfortunately, I was a gangster.
All right. Any other guesses?
Yeah, no. I mean, I have a guess, but I don't have a question.
What's your guess? No one in the chat has a guess, although Michelle Dowdy just wrote, yes, Jason. Not sure what that reference to, but
I feel, again, I'm going to say this again. I feel like it could have happened, but I don't think it did. I'm going to say it's a lie. I'm not good at this part.
Well, I don't know. Both of you are really good liars, so
So bad yourself.
thank you. So I'm going to say I think it's true. I think it's a funny story, and I'm hoping that he handled it really beautifully.
we have one truth. We have one lie. The answer is
Damn, you're good.
But Autumn Hurlbert is real.
Okay.
my friend Thomas wrote, I did Les Mis with Autumn and she punched everyone.
Thomas, was that in Salt Lake City at the Pioneer Theater?
Yes, it would have been in Salt Lake City at the Pioneer Theater, yeah. Sure. I don't know how this we're done. This is the end. But the person who wins is Karen Mason.
Really?
Yeah.
That's true.
For
And
what?
I feel
You
bad
got
I
the best.
doubted you.
You did the best answering and fooling.
Wow.
Look at that.
I demand a recount. Is this
Listen, Freddie.
decision arbitrary, or is it based on?
She likes me.
Now I'm gonna be known as the younger queen who doubted Karen Mason.
You're going in the book, Jason.
Never
You're going
done.
in the bio. You're going in the topless and dancing bio.
The blasphemous statements I've made this last half hour. Oh,
Sparkle tube tops. There you go. All right. So that was the end of our show, guys. Thank you for doing it.
This was fun.
this is great.
Yeah.
Everyone, thank you very much. I hope you donate to the good people at the Southern Poverty Law Center. They do some really insanely good work. So please do. The donations, it should be in the feed, but it's also at the bottom of the page, and it's on our Facebook page. We'll be back in 2 weeks on July 2nd. And everyone, thank you so much. We had a great time.
Oh, this was great,
you.
Amy. Thank you.
Thank
Love you
you.
all. Love you all.
Bye.
Stop.